This is not cute. Okay, good morning, y'all. Back to vlogging. I feel like it's been a couple weeks where I haven't vlogged, but I was vlogging pretty much like every day. Even if I wasn't like posting every day, I was still filming every day, and bitch, I fucking missed that. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on post notifications so they put me back in your algorithm, and comment down below to do that as well. Thank you guys so much for all the love. Like, seriously, my comments have been amazing recently, and it just makes me so happy every time I log in, so thank y'all. Okay, so mini rant. I just want to know if anyone feels the same way that I do. Okay, so I'm sure if you watch me, you probably have somewhat of the same mindset as me. Maybe not all the way, maybe just a little bit, maybe not at all, but that mindset is like unlearning a lot of the things that we've been taught, specifically when it comes to relationships, and specifically if you are attracted to cis-het men. I saw a TikTok the other day where this girl said, do you ever feel like when you're with a guy, you're like a woman and not a person? It's like you fall into this role of like, oh, I am the girlfriend now, I am this, I am that. It's like almost performative, and like obviously this can vary from person to person that you're in a relationship with or hanging out with. I feel like in general there's always this kind of vibe, and again, it depends. There's always like this certain vibe of like, this is like what we do, not even in like a playing house way, but it just like, these are our roles, and it's just, it can be very low-key, like very subtle, but once you pay attention to it, it's like, oh, not gonna lie, sometimes I love it. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. Is there a better feeling than like feeling really cute in the passenger seat while your bae drives, and like, you know, like I know for me, like I've always been very interested in why society is the way that it is, and why we are in these certain roles, and what goes into it, and how it can be very harmful for us. There's like a lot of ways why being in relationships with cis-het men can be very harmful, and we don't get a lot of our emotional needs met. And yeah, okay, not all guys, but it's just kind of how patriarchy is set up. So even if it's not as extreme with one guy, there's still usually going to be little things that hint at it, unless you're both actively working against it. And I read something, I think in a book or an article, that was like, unless both people are actively working against the patriarchy and these traditional, you know, gender roles, then you have no other option but to just fall into those gender roles. Y'all know I've kind of talked here and there about decentering romance in my life, and I feel like that's something that really is a product of all of this kind of thinking and like almost research. You know, it's a pandemic, bitch, and I feel like I've just had a lot more time alone, not in the proximity of men. You know, before I would go out, I would look pretty, I would go to the club, I would get talked to, I would get noticed. That sounds like, oh my god, but you know what I mean? It's just like now. It's like now I'm literally in my house all the time if I'm not at the grocery store or hanging out with like a couple girlfriends, you know? So I've had a lot of time to completely like not be in the game, I guess. And I mean, yeah, you can still get attention on social media, but it's not really the same. I mean, it can be, but there's a difference, you know, in like having interactions in real life and feeling the vibes, and then like someone messaging you and it's just like, okay, this is text on a screen. Okay, I feel like it can be a lot more one-sided on social media. Like a guy could message me and I will like not, it's like I can just delete the message, you know, I don't have to engage at all. Anyway, so I've had a lot of time to think about this and ask myself like, what do I want? And you know, I feel like as women especially, so much, and I always want to be inclusive, but I can only talk about like my perspective and my own experience. So no matter who you are, what you identify as, who you're attracted to, I feel like there are these common themes of like patriarchy, and you know, it still affects everyone, so you can like apply it to your own life as you see fit. We're taught that so much of our lives have to revolve around romance and men, and you know, I always use this example, but we literally see it from the time we're babies watching Disney movies. You know, the story's not complete until she's with her prince. The prince has to save her. She was nothing until she got married to this guy. And while romantic love can be very, very healing or transformative, that's not the only type of love that exists. You know, we have love, we have self-love, we have love with our friends, our families, we have love for art, we have love for our pets, we have love for life, and just, you know, we can still feel that, and it doesn't always have to be romantic or like oh, you're single, you're not, oh, you're a whore. And I feel like a lot of us have heard comments throughout our whole lives like, oh, she's this age and she's still single, she's not married yet, she doesn't have kids yet, like time's ticking, she better hurry up. All becomes very ingrained, I feel like, in us. So we always have this, like, it may be even so subconscious or so subtle, but we always have a slight fear like, oh, I don't want to end up alone, I don't want to be an old maid, I don't want to be, you know, undesirable. I want men to desire me. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be a wife. I want to have kids. Like, I don't want to be an old mom, whatever. And therefore, we put up with so much bullshit from men in order to not, you know, face that fear of being alone or being an old maid. What year is it? 1950. And I just feel like that's very harmful, because at the end of the day, y'all have heard it, we all are basically in this world alone, in a sense. Like, if you're not in a relationship, that doesn't mean you're alone, bitch. You have yourself, but you're alone in the sense of, like, you were born alone, you're gonna die alone. And being alone is not, it doesn't have to be this horrible thing. Yeah, we can experience loneliness, and that's different, but as far as like, oh, if I'm not in a relationship, or if I'm not in a relationship with a man, I am unvaluable to society and I don't have any worth, and I'm just like either an old maid, like gross, ew, or a whore, like ew, even worse. Sexual freedom, that is horrible. So I feel like if we can kind of look at this, like step away from it and look at it, it's like, okay, well, I would rather be alone and invest in my community or my relationships with my friends and my family and whoever, and fulfill myself in that way, rather than put up with some bullshit. And, you know, bullshit can range from being cheated on, having to fulfill the role of a wife or of a girlfriend, the very traditional role. Oh, I have to cook and clean. Like, have y'all seen the TikToks where the wife is like, oh, acting like my husband for a day, and she just like throws the clothes on the floor, puts the dishes in the sink, is like, oh, I'm not gonna do those. And again, that is it's a very traditional example, but it's also, I feel like, a little bit extreme. I grew up with both my parents, you know, equally cooking and cleaning. My dad especially, bitch, he's basically like a Virgo, so I grew up with that example. But even in examples like that, bitch, patriarchy is still going to reside, and you're still going to have those traditional roles in a sense. As a wife, as a mother, it's like you do so much emotional labor for the household, and you're basically the backbone of the household typically, and you don't get any credit for it. And you just don't really live for yourself anymore. And I mean, when you have kids especially, I feel like that's normal, but so often the husband, the father, does not participate in that at all. It's like the mom has to parent and the dad is just like there for fun. So this is all stuff that I've been thinking about, and I feel like I'm at a place now, especially after spending so many months like single, like single in the sense of like not even talking to anyone. I think I said this in a podcast maybe, but I feel like there's like single where you're having fun, dating, like whatever. And then there's single where you're like working on yourself and like not interested. And I feel like that's kind of where I am at right now. And now I feel like I'm at a place where I truly believe and feel and know that I would rather be single than put up with that in any capacity. I would rather be alone. I would rather do my nighttime routine. I would rather make my videos, hang out with my friends when I can, be with my family, than like put up with stuff. Like, I don't know. So with that being said, bitch, have y'all noticed, maybe you're one of them, but I feel like so many people are in relationships now. Every day when I go on Instagram, someone new that I know is in a relationship. On one hand, that's great. On the other hand, it's like, happy for you. Love state, pandemic love. But it's like, I don't know if I feel jealous or like, damn, another one, or like, damn, it's everyone except me. So then I have to remind myself, like, first of all, I don't know what goes on in their lives, in their relationships. This is someone I haven't seen in 2 years, 3 years. Like, I don't know them. And second of all, I guess it kind of goes off the first thing, but it's like, you don't know. Like, their relationship could be exactly what you don't want. Like, and again, that's not to say any relationship with a straight guy is gonna be horrible, but statistics do show what was it, like I think it was like unmarried women without children are the happiest group. So many more women are like happier after divorce. Like there's just so many statistics. Those are just like a couple, but yeah, I just have to like remind myself, oh, like just because you see a picture of a couple being cute on an IG story, like you still, all this stuff that you've learned, that still applies, and you don't know them, so you can't like say, oh, they're really happy, or oh, they're probably like have this patriarchy affecting them in this way, because you don't know. It's like I have to be like, bitch, stop, like just be happy for them, whatever, move on. Because it's weird. It's like, I'm like, damn, it's like that hurts. But then it's like, okay, I've been trying to do all this stuff to like unlearn this and like ultimately make myself a happier and stronger person, because I'm not relying on this idea of like a fairy tale romance, like, oh, I'm waiting for the one, or oh, like I'm just waiting to be, I can't wait to be a wife, I can't wait to get married. It's like, I can do that if I want, but I want to be strong in myself and know that whatever I choose is right for me, and I'm making decisions for my own happiness and self and future and myself at the end of the day. Like I'm not waiting around for a relationship, for a man. So it's like, it's weird, because even after all of this unlearning and like self-growth and like feeling a lot stronger in myself and like my life and whatever, it's like I will still see a couple on Instagram and be like, damn, fuck, another person not alone in the pandemic. And I feel like this is all very normal, and I feel like, you know, it's normal to know something logically but then still feel emotions about it. But I guess I bring this up just to share and also to ask if anyone can relate. Oh my god, that felt good to get off my chest, bro. I literally woke up like an hour ago. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of like what I've been thinking of, where I'm at. And I also saw this TikTok, bitch, shout out to my TikTok algorithm. It really just be putting everyone who's on the same vibe as me. But this girl actually gave like concrete examples of things that you can do.
I get a lot of comments like this on videos of my girlfriend and I abundantly loving each other, and sometimes it's funny, but it's also really serious. Like, men are emotionally neglecting women out here. We can joke about it, but over time, it's gonna make these women into skeletons of the people they could be. And we also know that nuclear heterosexual family structures are an extension of capitalism, colonialism, and patriarchy that keep us working more, spending more, and keep us isolated from other people. If we're trying to shatter those structures, we also have to shatter our emotional and familial structures. So like, yeah, stop dating men. Start cohabitating and partnering with your female best friends who you really support, who you can build a beautiful home together and even have children with, and just fuck men on the side, or like date them on the side. But
just being a lot more community based and like not relying on these nuclear family unit and examples, because at the end of the day that's very like hyper individualistic and harmful. And I feel like that's just been demonstrated so much in the pandemic. Just the example of everyone buying all the toilet paper and hoarding it because it's like, oh, I need to protect myself and my family, and like I don't care about everyone else. And it's like we're kind of forced to only care about ourselves and like our little family, because there's not a lot of room for the most part, you know, in general, to care about others and to care about the community at large. Everyone going out and partying, going to the club and traveling, even though we're supposed to not do that, well, I'll be fine. I don't really care about everyone else. Like, I'll be okay. So it's just all these issues are like connected, you know? And it's like also very frustrating when you feel like no one relates, and I don't know. It's like, you can't really control that though. Everyone is on their own path, bitch, and like everyone is gonna realize stuff at in their own time, or they won't. But so yeah, that's just kind of what's been on my mind. I literally just decided to film this because I just saw another couple on Instagram. It's kind of my vibe right now. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and if you've thought about any of this. Again, I'm sure some of you have if you watch me, because it's kind of something I've talked about here and there. Anyway, bitch, it's fucking Sunday. I got my nails done yesterday. I'm gonna do like a glow up with me video. I'm getting my hair done. I'm getting this facial. I'm very excited. Mercury retrograde just took a toll on me. So yeah, I'm going to finish this coffee, probably have some breakfast, work out because I didn't work out yesterday, and do a deep clean. So thanks for listening. And Let me know your thoughts down below because this is a very interesting topic. I feel like that has a lot of different layers. Let's talk about it. So I did like a half makeup just because I was bored. But yeah, this is the end of our Sunday. Literally, what a day. I think I'm gonna take a bath though. But bitch, just like a classic, like so sad it's quarantine day. I mean, it's technically not like actual quarantine anymore. I should like be more specific with my wording. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, shit is boring. Like that's the only way to describe it. And I've been trying to remind myself to be grateful for what I have, and like, okay, if you're bored, that's not the end of the world. But at the same time, bitch, it's like I don't want to devalidate my feelings of not having human contact. So yeah, I'm gonna take a bath. What a day, what a day.